Hello dear learners, I am Madhuri Gudda from Department of Education, National University, Rohtak. With the greetings of the day, let us start our discussion. Today we are going to talk about a very important aspect of our research, that is preparing research proposal. Learning objective of this module are: the learners will be able to know and understand the meaning of research proposal, which is also called synopsis. They will be able to know the various types of research proposal. They will be able to understand and explain various steps used in preparing the research proposal, and they will be able to explain the procedure for data collection for particular type of research proposal. Research proposal is a plan for research submitted to any agency or institution for conduction of research. We may call it synopsis also. It includes the statement of problem, hypothesis, details of research procedures, sampling techniques and sample, tools to be selected or to be developed, data analysis techniques, and the framework including all these aspects may vary from institutions to institutions. Preparation of synopsis or research proposal is a prerequisite for conduction of the research. It is submitted to the funding organization for approval of conducting any research project. Research proposal or synopsis gives the data about the feasibility of the research process. It serves as a model for conduction of research. It provides a systematic plan or procedures to the researcher to follow. It helps the research supervisor a base to guide the researcher in his pursuit of study. Research proposal is a systematic plan about the research process and is based on preliminary planning. It is just like a blueprint of the design of the building which an architect follows before the construction stage. The submitted proposal or synopsis to an institution or organization for carrying out the research process is the initial rough state or the preliminary draft of proposal for any modification in the light of constructive criticism and suggestion of the expert of the committee constituted for reviewing the proposals. These experts are the researchers, supervisors, colleagues, specific area experts and the head of the particular institutions. This initial draft is in the developing stage and deficiencies, if any found, are corrected by the experts. The research proposal may be classified in the following types on the basis of the type of research study to be undertaken and its purpose. First type is submission of research proposal is a mandatory requirement for most of the universities for beginners in the research at any level like post-graduation or PhD, and a committee of experts evaluates the research proposal and determines the feasibility of the study. In the second type of research proposal, which is submitted for financial assistance to a government or a private agency, the submitted proposal is evaluated by the panel of experts and recommends or rejects the proposal for financial assistance. In the third type of research proposal category, the research proposal includes those proposals which are submitted by a college teacher or the university teacher to some research organization like the University Grant Commission, the NCERT, the Indian Council of Social Science Research, etc. These organizations are the autonomous organization, and in the present days, more funds are provided by these organizations for research purpose. So the number of teachers taking interest in research conduction is also increasing. Now let us discuss how the research proposal is prepared. Every research proposal or plan must have a predefined set of specifications. A well-designed and carefully planned proposal probably lead to a worthwhile research study. The first section of research proposal is introductory part. This introductory portion of the proposal should include some subpoints, which may be the title, the statement of the problem, review of the related literature, the hypothesis, significance of the study, definition of the various terms and concepts, delimitations of the study, and the last section of this introductory part is the basic assumptions of the research. Now let us discuss these subsections of this introductory part one by one in little brief. First is the title. The title just signifies the name of the topic of the research. It is a statement which must suggest the theme of the study. While selecting the topic or title, few points should need considered. The first is the title should not use heavy words or should not use terms which are of unscientific, argumentative or biased in nature. The language in the title should be simple, but it should be professional in nature. The title should be specific to the area of study. The title must indicate the objective approach to be followed. Although the title cannot present the whole study, but it should give the sufficient information about the nature of the study. Second is statement of the problem. Statement of the problem is not exactly the same as the title of the study, but it occupies a significant place in the introductory session. Stating the problem is an attempt to focus on clear goal of the research study. Statement of the problem is primarily the expansion of the title. The problem can be stated in declarative form or in question form. The third subsection is review of related literature. The theoretical and empirical framework related to the problem under study need to be described. Here arises the need of reviewing the conceptual and theoretical review of the related literature. Moreover, the latest research trends in the area of your study need to be mentioned here in this section. The researchers make the point clear that the proposed study has the roots in the existing literature and need further research and exploration. A brief description of the research studies need to be mentioned here. The review of existing literature prevents unnecessary duplication of the already existing research study. It also provides the direction and hypothesis for this proposed piece of work. Next is hypothesis. Questions are designed in a research study which are explored for the answers. These questions are stated in the form of statements called the hypothesis. This step tries to establish the underlying logic about the research study. It provides direction to the proposed research work. In the light of the hypothesis, the data is collected and analyzed. The form and the type of research hypothesis is guided and determined by the implications of the review of related literature. Next is rationale of the study or the significance of the research study. The rationale or the significance of the research study need conduction of the research study, which should be included in the introductory part of the research proposals. Significance of conducting the research must be emphasized in this section, and how the results of this particular study are going to benefit the educational theories and practices. Significance of conducting the research study can be explained in many ways. Like first way is, if the time lapse between the present study and the earlier study is there, then there is a need to find new knowledge by the techniques and by the research. And the second way is establishing and finding the gaps between the knowledge provided by the previous research studies and to see how the present study will try to fill the gap and will add to a quantum of existing knowledge. And the next way is to see how the changing national and international developments affect the social and educational issues. Next is defining the terms and the concepts. All the significant and technical terms and concepts need to be defined operationally. Unanimous definitions of various concepts are very rare, and in such situations it is obligatory for the investigator to give the operational definition of various terms and concepts involved in the research study. And the next is delimitations of the study. The study should be delimited in reference to the scope of the area of the research. Moreover, the boundaries of the study is also specified in the areas need to be defined. In addition to the procedural treatment, including the sampling techniques, data collection tools and techniques are also pre-specified under this introductory section. Last is basic assumptions. There are some foundations upon which the research study is based. This foundation is described as assumptions or statement of ideas which are accepted as true to conduct the research. In the study to be conducted, these statements as assumptions are written to reveal what the researcher and other theorized to be true. Moreover, these assumptions also indicate those factors which influence the study and are unalterable. The second main section is the procedure for data collection. The procedural component of the design of the study is described in detail. In philosophical and historical researches, this component includes nature of the data and its treatment, which differ from other type of researches. First is sampling. It is mostly unfeasible for the researchers to measure any trait from each unit of the population because of the number of the units in population is very large in social sciences. So he or she is to choose or study a section of the units from the population which is the representative proportion of the population. Depending upon the type of the population, nature of the study, the researcher selects the sampling techniques to select this representative proportion. A research proposal should clearly state the population from which he is to select the sample. The procedure of sample selection by using various techniques should also be described in the proposal. Next is tool. Certain testing and non-testing devices are used in a research study in the form of various psychological tests, inventories and questionnaire, etc. The research proposal should include the reasons for selecting a particular tool for collecting the data, the reported evidence of the reliability and validity of the standardized tools for use in the study should be quoted. Next is data analysis techniques. This section involves the techniques and procedures of organization, analysis and interpretation of the data. Use of statistical techniques and using particular technique should be included in this part. In documentary studies and historical researches, the use of method of internal criticism and external criticism also need description. Next is bibliography. The research proposal should also include the list of journals, books, articles and other references which the researcher has consulted in preparing the proposal and may use in the conduction of the study. Then the time schedule. An ideal research proposal should include and mention the realistic time frame of the research study. Time phasing with the schedule is very much necessary to be reported in the research proposal. Next is budget schedule. When research proposals are submitted to any agency for financial assistance, budget scheduling with estimated expenditure with time schedule is necessary. So now let us sum up. Dear learners, let us summarize in brief what we have discussed in this video. We discussed and learned the meaning of research proposal with its various types and uses. We also discussed in detail various steps used in preparation of research proposal. And in the last section of this video, we discussed and focused on the procedure used in the collection of data for preparing the research proposal. Thank you.